Hi everyone. Everyone's probably joining on now. Shooting up. Excellent. How's it going, everyone? If you could actually navigate, so I'm already sharing my screen, and you should probably see myself and Matt as small heads. If you actually scroll over the top, you'll be able to open up your participants box or your chat box. From there, you can actually see like a little hands up, or you can do that along the bottom if you want to raise your hands just to make sure you can hear me. Billy, yep, Sean, James, excellent.
Oh, cool. Everyone's
really
can hear
cool.
us.
Excellent. If you want as well, guys, while we're just preparing and waiting for a few more people to join, if you just want to open up the chat, let us know where you're dialing in from. I'm here in my apartment, Wentworth Point, Sydney 2127, represent. If you guys want to like throw in where you're dialing from. Auckland, awesome, St Kilda, Newtown, Perth. We've got people from all over the joint today. This is excellent.
Nice. I think we've got
good representation.
Over 150 people, which is great. I'm dialing in from Bronte in Sydney.
Excellent. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I know. A lot of people jumping on.
Randwick. Quite cool.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're dialing in from. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the Market Mapping and Business Development Virtual Workshop. Just before we dive in, guys, I thought it'd be awesome just to introduce ourselves. So my name's Pat. I'm a CSM at LinkedIn based in Sydney. I deal with search and staffing clients. I've been at LinkedIn for over a year now. Actually, pretty recently, I clocked in at over a year. And I guess during this time at the moment, I'm sure everyone's kind of facing their own challenges and difficulties, but LinkedIn has really kind of made the effort and wanted to give you guys a bit more of a virtual offering. So we've kicked off the virtual workshop series. So this is our first one that's very staffing specific. So this is going to deep dive into market mapping and business development. But with me, I'm also joined by Matt. Matt, if you want to give yourself a bit of an intro.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt. I'm a senior customer success manager at LinkedIn based in Sydney. I've been in the role for just over 2 years now. Same as Pat, we kind of specialise in looking after the search and staffing portfolios across ANZ. So previous to that, my role was kind of recruitment as well. So kind of walked in your shoes before, kind of knowing some of the kind of pain points. Probably not that what you're experiencing at the moment, but hopefully today's session, Pat and I can kind of talk you through how you can kind of map your market and specialise on business development during these kind of unprecedented times. So we definitely think that LinkedIn is a great tool that you guys should be leveraging now to help you set up for when hopefully things go back to normality, and also to help you now. I'm sure a lot of you got jobs on now that you're kind of currently recruiting for. So Pat and I are really excited to run the session in the next 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, very well said, Matt. It's yeah, guys, like this is a really kind of unprecedented time, and a lot of what we're going to be showing you guys now is how you can actually really kind of track either your current clients or prospective clients, seeing where there's some movement in the market, and getting yourself set up just to make sure that you can be in touch with these people and decision makers, and making sure that you can keep fostering those relationships even during this time. And once there's a bit more of a bounce back, you'll be ready to go. So just a bit of the lay of the land. So we've got another 40 minutes to go. Guys, we want to keep this as interactive as possible. I know there's a lot of you on the call, but feel free to throw a question into the Q&A. What we're going to do is, so while Matt's presenting, I'll be manning the Q&A. I'll be taking a look at your questions. If there's something that I can just answer directly through the chat box, I will. Otherwise, I'll pause Matt and we can focus on any questions. Matt will do the same as I'm presenting. Another thing as well, so towards the end of the session, if you guys wanted to stay on and ask more questions, we'll be happy to do so. But just so you know, make sure you raise your hand. If you've got an issue or you can't hear us, just let us know. Throw it into the chat. Let's be a bit interactive, make this a bit of fun. But without any further ado, we'll kick on. Does that sound good, everyone? If I get a raise of hands, if everyone can hear me, and that sounds good. Excellent. Thank you, Billy. Keeps people raising the hand. Amazing. Cool. Thank you very much. So just today's agenda, guys. So we're going to split this into two parts. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can map our market using LinkedIn. So a really powerful tool using Recruiter specifically is Search Insights or Search Breakdown. It does depend on which version of Recruiter that you're on. Just actually, that's a really good call out for me just to kind of stop us there. So there are currently two different interfaces of Recruiter. You have a newer version, which has been rolled out over the past few months. And for some of you guys, you may have a newer and updated version. However, the majority of people are still on one of the older versions. In terms of what you can do and capability of what we're going to show you, both of them can be done across both versions. They look a little bit different. So what we'll do is we'll make sure to actually call out where there are these differences and what kind of just looks different and where to find different buttons across the each other's versions. But if you guys do get stuck and you get a little bit lost depending on what version you're on, feel free to just throw that into the chat as a question and I can guide you guys that way. After we kind of learn about mapping your market, we're going to then leverage that information and we're going to go into how we can use it from a business development point of view. We'll set up a business development project and some couple of key safe searches that we can be looking at. We'll be doing some demos in both areas. We'll show you guys where you can get some additional resources, and then we'll have some question time at the end. So if that sounds good to everyone, we'll kick off with Maddie and market mapping.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Thanks for kind of getting us set up. So why map your market? So there's heaps of different reasons why it's important for us to map our market. Probably really important now, especially that we've got a lot of time at home. I'm sure a lot of you are currently cooped up. So now is a great time to really start understanding your market. Perhaps your role has shifted and you're having to pivot and you have to understand some more, you want to learn some more insights on new market. So we'll run through how you can do this. Or if you're still specializing in the vertical that you're recruiting in, this is just as kind of important as well. So some of the things, reasons why we want to map our market is first, you want to gain the insights into the competitive landscape. So it's really helpful for us to really understand, what our industries are doing, how they're moving, and you want to kind of understand that. You want to be able to build your network of candidates and also clients. So a big part of this is kind of client focused as well. So we really want to understand the network that hopefully we can build to hopefully reach out to not only candidates but also clients. We want to build brand advocacy. It's really important, and we want to calculate the job to candidate ratio. So we'll be using not only LinkedIn Recruiter, but Pat and I will be showing you different tools of how to leverage LinkedIn.com as well to your benefit in helping you kind of map your market and find out what the job market is doing. Cool. So we'll also be running through a kind of insights and a breakdown. So like Pat correctly said, there are some slight differences compared to the new UX and the old one. However, they offer the same insights. So I'm going to be running through how you can leverage search insights to really understand your market, understand what current businesses are hiring, and how you can understand anything from where people are currently based, where people have studied before, what they've studied, anything from kind of their years in current position or their overall years of experience. LinkedIn can provide you with that breakdown, because what's really essential now is when you are having these conversations with your clients, you want to make sure that you're putting data at the heart of all your conversations, and we want to leverage the Search Insights tool to help us get that data. So then when we do have those phone conversations and those meetings with clients, we can kind of share that insight. That's going to be really helpful for them, and you're going to be seen as an extension to their kind of internal recruitment team or an extension of their HR function, where you're there helping them find professionals that they need for their workforce. Cool, awesome. So we're going to jump straight into a demonstration. So I'm just going to select share. Bear with me 2 seconds. Cool. So can everyone give us a thumbs up or a kind of a hands up if you can see my screen? Hopefully, Pat, you can see my screen as well. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I've just got inundated with that. Brilliant. So this should look familiar for a lot of the people on the screen. So this is your homepage. Pat did mention about some of you have a slightly different homepage. If you have this homepage, there is this banner here which I just want to point out here. It says the future of recruiting. So if you want to learn more about the new recruiter and jobs format, that's maybe that is coming soon. Please click on this if you've got a spare 10 minutes in your day. So look, we'll go straight into market mapping. So the first thing that we want to do to map our market, and it's something that you probably heard a lot of your CSMs say, whether you've got me, Pat, or someone else in the team, but is when you start your work, please start in a project because there's lots of benefits from that. One of them being saved searches. So when you want to start your search, go to projects and then create new projects. I've already created one. It's called Customer Success in Australia because that's the hat I'm going to be wearing today. I'm going to pretend that I'm a recruiter recruiting for customer success managers in Australia. And as such, I really want to map my market and understand what the CSMs in Australia are, where they're working, and kind of, I want to understand a bit more about that market I'm about to explore. So all I'd have to do is type in customer success manager. And you guys, if you've got maybe duplicate screens, you can play along or just make notes. So I'll put in the job titles that I'm currently recruiting for, select current, and then I'm going to select the location, which is Australia. Great. So I've got an understanding of the market here straight away from looking at some of the spotlights. If you're on the new version of spotlights, will be on the left-hand side around here. But if on the old version, like I am at the moment, the spotlights will be seen here. So this is a quick snapshot of some of the insights we can get. So we know there's 5,600 candidates total who are classify themselves as customer success managers. We know there's around 1,300 that are more likely to respond. That's a helpful insight for us to know when mapping our market. There's people here who are fairly active on the platform. They're digesting content, sharing, liking, commenting. We've got 774 people who are open to opportunities. So, if I'm thinking about my market and a strategy towards reaching out to these individuals, potentially these are the individuals I'm going to reach out to first. I've probably got a much higher response rate with regards to my emails. Then we can see engage with your talent brand, which is also helpful. So maybe they're currently following your company or have engaged with any of your job posts. That's really helpful, especially now if you've got time. You've got time to kind of share articles or posts on LinkedIn to hopefully build your brand efficacy. And also we can see past applicants and engage your talent brand. So people are actually decided to follow your business. Now, this is all great. And especially this number here, 5,600, we know we've got a good, healthy talent pool. So what we want to leverage is we want to leverage search insights here, which is this tab. And this tab is going to kind of provide us a much more holistic overview of what that number is. So if I select search insights, we're going to see, it'll take you to another page, and we will see an overview of the market in a bit more detail. We can see all the companies that have customer success managers in Australia. We can see, you've got the classic cases, the bigger organizations like Telstra, Microsoft, CBA, IBM. We can see all the different numbers of how many CSMs that they have in their business. We can also see where the CSMs that they've got on their team, we can see where they've recently worked, which again is really helpful in this understanding for us to map our market. We can understand the years of experience and the years in current position, which is really helpful. So we can see on average, before people move on to their next role, they probably spend 1 to 2 years in their current role. And then there's obviously a big drop off and they kind of move on to the next role. We can see where they've studied and what they've studied. That may be helpful, especially if you're recruiting for graduates or juniors and maybe a hiring manager has opened up to you that you're looking for people with a particular background and maybe a degree. Of course, you can see where they're studied, where they're currently based. So we can see the majority of CSMs are around in the Sydney, Melbourne market, with Brisbane following, and then you've got Perth and Adelaide and Canberra who are kind of just behind. So if you do have a job open, let's say you get a job based in Perth and then you're looking for a customer success manager, you've mapped your market, you understand, well, look, there's potentially a small talent pool here. Perhaps it may be worthwhile me searching in the Sydney and Melbourne market for those who may be open to relocate to Perth. And that's informed me of, the insights have informed me on a decision and a strategy. So that would be the strategy that I would take. And then what's great as well, you've got all the profiles under here, which are all the up-to-date profiles. And then to add to that, if you want to kind of just concentrate on a particular talent pool, let's say IBM, this data set is all malleable. You can select it, and profiles will update as you select the business. Now, I also want to provide you with another insight that I think is really helpful. And we've looked at the overall number, 5,600, but maybe it's helpful for me to really understand what businesses are hiring these individuals. Who's hiring customer success managers in Australia at the moment? That may be an important data point that I would know about. That's going to inform me of my understanding of the market, and also it's going to help with my business development that Pat will get onto later on. So what I could do is I could scroll down to years in current position and then move the cursor all the way down to 0. So I'm now going to provide myself with a list of people who've joined their role in the last 12 months, who started their role in the last 12 months. And we can see that the number has changed and gone down, obviously, to just under 1,200. So I know there's 1,200, these 1,200 people started their new role in the last 12 months. And by selecting Search Insights, it's now going to give me a breakdown of the businesses that are currently hiring, which is really helpful, the top 10 anyway. So I can see that Microsoft's leading the charge here. But LinkedIn third there, they've made kind of 13 new people in LinkedIn in the past 12 months has changed role and become a customer success manager. Now, that may be an internal movement, a sideways step, a promotion, or it could be from an outside business as well. So you get to select the business, and then you get to see where they've worked in the past, which is really, really helpful. Now, you may be thinking, great, look, it's really helpful. I get the top 10 businesses, but can I get more businesses? Can I map my market out further? I've only got a maximum of 10. And the answer to that is yes. What you can do is if you go back into LinkedIn Recruiter, you can go to another feature called company sizes. And we've got 9, well, you take out self-employed, we've got 9 different company sizes. So we can run 9 different searches and get, each time 10 different results. So really, we're mapping our market as in a way where we can bring up 90 businesses that are currently recruiting the talent that you recruit for, which is going to be really helpful, which will really help you map your market, and also it's going to really inform you on your business development list when you kind of come to that later on. So let's say we're going to concentrate on the 11 to 50 mark. Highlight that, and then select Search Insights. I'm now going to be getting a different talent pool. Also, I'm just going to go back to select 50 to 200. I think I might get a bigger talent pool as well. And then you can select Search Insights. So you can keep doing this, and you'll slowly will build up a different list of businesses that hire the talent that you recruit for. And you may find businesses that you've never heard of. I might be a recruiter who recruit for CSMs, and HotDoc, never heard of that business, but I know that they've hired 10 CSMs in the past year. Could this be a business on the rise? Is this a business that I should be taking, give special attention to, alert other people in my team about this? Maybe they're recruiting in other areas that we could help. And then obviously you can start your research from there to understand the different businesses. So they're the 2 first things I do when you're trying to map your market, is really understand the companies, the experience needed, education and location. And then also, you can also find out companies that are hiring talent in the past 12 months. Like I said, you can select the business, and you can find that, in this case, a Med Group, find the people that they've hired in the past 12 months. Now, the next section that I want to show you is how you can map your market is really, really important, and I think really relevant for our current state, what the world is currently in at the moment, and that's finding out what potential candidates are new to LinkedIn. And for this example, I'm going to take out customer success managers, because I just want to show you how many people are joining LinkedIn in the past kind of week, past day, past 3 months. So you can see how many people are joining the network, and there's plenty of reasons why people join the network. Obviously, the main one is employment, but people are coming to the network also because they want to digest more content, they want to connect with people in their industry, they want to really find out what's going on, and they also want to maybe start sharing their articles, all that kind of stuff. So what you can do is, if you go to Australia, for example, and then you go to recently joined LinkedIn, there's a feature here. You can then start to highlight may have helped you one day. So we can see in one day in Australia, there's been 2,000 new LinkedIn members, which is great. So people join the network. In a week, that's risen to 12,500. And if we go to the last 3 months, we can see that there's 182,000 new LinkedIn profiles who've joined the network, which is fantastic. People are joining the network, so there are potential professionals out there who want to be contacted by you guys. And then I would challenge you guys to run this search and then just simply put in the job title that you recruit for, and you can see how many of these individuals have joined the network. So in this case, customer success managers got 34. Let's say you recruited for business analysts. You can see that numbers around 172. So you can see that people are coming to the network who potentially want to be contacted by yourselves. Now, the last
thing, Matt, just to pause, couple of good questions. So, Rachel is saying that you can't find that filter. So, Rachel, the recently joined LinkedIn will actually be under the advanced filters. So, for everyone on the call, if you use an advanced filter over and over again, it automatically gets moved to the left.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So if you can't find it or you can't see it on your own search on the left, so just click on advanced and it will be under there.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And I've got Oksana as well asking a question around, what's the value of seeing the pool of people who have recently joined LinkedIn? So do you want to kind of just go over that?
Yeah, I'll elaborate that. So, why is it helpful for us to know why people join LinkedIn? Well, firstly, these are potential candidates that are potentially active and ready to start their new hunt for a new job. So obviously traditionally as recruiters would probably search in this talent pool open to new opportunities, but if people are coming to LinkedIn, they're potentially people who have heard of something called LinkedIn. They're ready to start their next their hunt for the next role. They've realized the only way they can look at LinkedIn jobs is to have a LinkedIn profile. So these people are setting up a LinkedIn profile, and this is a really good indicator to show that these people are soon to be starting to applying for jobs, and they're soon to be turning on open to new opportunities. And now, if you wanted to, and I kind of don't want to move too much into business development, and I'm sure Pat will talk on this, but LinkedIn can set up an alert for you if you leverage this ribbon here, and I'll let Pat talk about this in his section, but you can get LinkedIn to alert you when there's new members joining LinkedIn. So if, and it could be anything from a candidate or it could even be a client. So I'll leave that there because Pat's going to go into that a bit more detail, but it'll be really helpful, I'm sure, for you guys to be, aware when an amazing candidate or an amazing client joins the network. Are there any other more questions, Pat, that I should cover off?
So just on the one question around, I can actually just take this one. So Tony asks, what if organization use slightly different titles for the same role? So Tony, I mean, this really it boils down to as if you were doing a standard recruiter search anyway. So depending on the industry or depending on the role, you can always kind of filter that, or you'd want to include the multiple job titles or variations of that title if you know of it. Otherwise, if it is something where it's more around, it could be a bunch of different things that could make up that role, then you could actually search using keywords. So if you're comfortable using Boolean, you could actually punch it in.
So it's a great example that I'll touch on that, Pat, quickly. So if you were in the tech industry and you recruit for developers, you could obviously, and I'm sure people on the call have recruited in the tech space before, you could absolutely pepper this section here with different job titles. But what Pat's correctly said is what you could do is when you take the job brief from the hiring manager, if you know what the technologies are, you can bypass the job titles, and like Pat correctly said, go straight to keywords and start typing in the keyword section here, so you can get kind of a much more realistic profiles of who you'd want to be reaching out to.
So we have a few more questions, but I'll answer them just through the chat, Matt, if you want to continue on.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Pat. So look, the last section I wanted to actually alert you guys to is on actually LinkedIn.com. So I'm just going to jump over to LinkedIn.com. So this should be a fairly familiar area to you, but you could jump into jobs and type in Australia, and we're able to see and get an understanding of all the jobs that have currently been posted in Australia in the past 12 months, in the past few dates. So if I go date posted, so you can see, for example, in the past month, there's been over 55,000 jobs that have been posted in Australia. Again, this is really helping me map my market. So I'm able to understand, okay, what jobs are being posted. And you can go more granular by using the filters here. So if I worked in the tech industry, or let's say it's right here, the hospital and healthcare industry, you could update that, select apply, and you can see what businesses are potentially hiring in this space. And we can see there's over 12,000 new jobs in Australia in the hospital and healthcare in the last month. So we're seeing that, for me to map my market, understand my market, let's say I recruit in this space, I can look at that and go, wow, okay, there's a good number of jobs that have been posted by other recruitment agencies, other businesses. That means that the market is fairly buoyant or quite strong. Maybe there's some businesses there that I maybe have relationships with that I should be leveraging, and seeing if I can help them place their professionals and connect talent with opportunity there. So with that said, I'm going to pass it back over to Pat, and Pat's going to run through business development, and hopefully, he'll link in a few of the things, the practices that I've spoke about here, and add that to the narrative of how you can leverage LinkedIn for business development as well. So over to you, Pat.
Awesome, cool. Thanks, Matt. Vanita also just asked a question if you want to answer while I am setting up my screen on, Can you view search results greater than 1,000?
Yeah, cool. I'll get onto that.
And Raj, is there a feature where you can search jobs excluding what other recruitment agencies are posting? There is a way you can actually view job postings, but in order to get that exact, I'm pretty sure you actually have to use LinkedIn Talent Insights, which is a separate product. Matt, is that right guidance?
Yeah. So is this Raj's question? Is that right?
Yes.
Is there a feature where you can search jobs excluding what other recruitment agencies? Yeah. So Talent Insights is another product that you could leverage. If not, in that job section, what you can do is actually just search for that particular business, and then you don't have to put in the different agencies' names in. But LinkedIn Talent Insights would probably be the best tool to use, like Pat said. But if not, and it is quite a long way around doing it, you can put the individual companies in. So I see, Pat, that you're up and running. So I'm going to carry on answering the questions, guys. Please keep the questions coming in, and I'll leave Pat to talk on business development.
Awesome, cool. Thank you very much, Matt. So guys, I'm going to be starting to talk about business development. Now, really, when we think about business development and market mapping, they really go hand in hand. So what's really important is that you kind of want to set yourself up, map your market first, kind of see where it is that you want to focus some attention and who you want to be targeting. And then from there, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how you can actually set up a project and make sure that you're setting up LinkedIn so it's alerting you on these warm leads every time they're coming through based on what you've discovered through your market mapping. So a couple of things with BD on LinkedIn. So if we actually take a look at this slide, it's mainly talking around the amount of people who use social media or use LinkedIn in total. We're currently at 650 plus million on the platform. And as Matt showed before, I mean, even within the past 3 months, there's been 195,000 people join the platform in Australia alone. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of businesses, there's a lot of content out there. So one really big call out when it comes to business development is actually making sure that your presence on LinkedIn really reflects who you are and that you're actually engaging with the platform yourself. A lot of the time, our clients will kind of forget that they are also a member, so they won't update their profile. They won't update their profile picture or anything like that. So first and foremost, if any of you guys have attended, we call it a Rock Your Profile session, or have attended any of these sessions in the past, we always talk about the importance of your profile. And from a business development sense, when you're reaching out to someone, so if you're reaching out to a potential client, the same as a potential candidate, they're going to check out your profile. They're going to see where you're coming from. They're going to see your prior experience. And more importantly, this is the opportunity for you to really break the ice and give them a bit of your own personality and flavor or from your profile. So one thing I would challenge all of you guys to do after this call is to actually take a look at your profile. Feel free to take a look at mine and Matt's. We definitely don't have the absolute gold standard benchmarks of all profiles, but I would even ask you guys, take a look at our profiles, see what you think, see what you can kind of leverage. If you read either of our profiles in the description, it really does have a bit of our personalities within it. So if we were reaching out to you, you wouldn't kind of get shocked with our language or how we would interact. Now, the second part, when we think about business development, so what I'm going to show you guys is what you can do on LinkedIn.com. I'll show you guys one small thing, and that's around job alerts. But if we can see below here, what you can do is you can actually leverage your recruiter seat and organize your work the same way as if you were proactively sourcing. So if you were setting up different projects and you were looking for a customer success manager, you'd have a project set up. You might have a job posted about it. You'd be running searches, creating alerts, getting updated anytime someone hits open to new opportunities. What we want to do is we want to do the same, but we want to do it with a different lens. So we're going to look at it from a business development lens. So we're actually going to be tracking potential clients, potential decision makers. We have a really great way of even kind of keeping an eye out on what our current clients and top tier clients are up to, and we can get these alerts served up to us either daily or weekly. So rather than me just talking about it, what I'll do is jump into LinkedIn.com. If I could get a hands up, everyone can see my LinkedIn.com homepage rather than PowerPoint. Or Matt, are you able to see?
Yeah, I can see it, mate.
Yeah,
all good.
Excellent. Heaps of hands shooting up. Amazing. Thank you, guys. You're all still awake and with us. That's awesome. So from LinkedIn.com, guys, there's a few things that you can do, but one really basic thing, I'll start from here, is let's say you want to take a look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a client of yours. You're going to jump onto their company page. Now, guys, you can do this with any of your clients. So from LinkedIn.com, I'm going to click on jobs. And what we can see here, actually, I don't think this is going to work necessarily because I'm currently working here. So I'm just going to use a different example. Let's jump on Coca-Cola. And jump on jobs. One thing you want to do, guys, obviously, is follow your clients. Now, if I punch onto all jobs, what we can see here is you can actually create a job alert. So by turning this on, you can get notifications either daily, weekly, by email, however it is that you want. If you want purely a notification in the little bell. And that way, anytime a job hits the platform from your client, you're actually going to be able to see that posting. So you can use this either with a current client or potentially someone that you've mapped out using Matt's exercises that you want to work with. And this gives you the ability to understand where their jobs are at. It gives you the ability to think about reaching out to to a decision maker or a contact you have in there. And in this example, if I had a contact within Coca-Cola, I could say, hi, Bob, how's the client services lead role going? Are you looking internally or have you gone external? How are you at within that process? So you can set this up with any of your clients. You just have to go onto their LinkedIn company page and turn on that job alert. And then if you're sick of getting too many alerts, you can always turn it off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump into my recruiter homepage. Excellent. Guys, what I want you all doing, and this is out not only just within a market mapping and BD perspective, but Matt hit this at the top of his demonstration, is that you want to always work in a project. So projects are really important within Recruiter. They organize all of your work, but there's actually some functionality that gets lost outside of a project. So if you're running searches, for example, and you want to create alerts, you can't actually do that unless you've started in a project. It's not to say you can't go and create that ever again. It's just that LinkedIn's going to kind of stop and ask that you backtrack a little, create a project, and then you're going to be able to save searches and create those alerts. So rather than backtracking, you just want to start in a project first. So for this, guys, I'm just going to create a BD project. Let's call it BD test. And I'm going to create a project. Now, guys, what you can do is you can be as broad or as specific as you want. So if you want to have BD within a specific industry, you can name it that way. Otherwise, you can have a much broader project for all leads that you want to focus on. However you want to approach it and whatever's best for you guys is how you should do it. So from here, a few things that I want to take a look at. So what we want to do, and this is what I recommend setting up for any of your markets that you have mapped and any companies that you want to take a look at, is, as well as roles, is what you want to do is you want to set up and track decision makers and their behaviors. So let's say a decision maker that you want to work with is a CEO. Now I want to take a look at CEOs, current CEOs. I'll use Sydney in this example. So what you can see, there's heaps of CEOs in Sydney. I'll add in a couple of industries just so I can have this at a bit of a smaller list. Awesome. So a few things that we want to do from here, guys, is what you want to do is you want to get your list of decision makers. So whether that's CEO, HR manager, chief people officer, whoever it may be. A few things we want to do here. So number one is I'm going to click on open to new opportunities. So I can see there's 425 people who are open to new opportunities that are CEOs. So what I want to do is I want to save this search. So guys, by saving your search, and if you're taking a look at this ribbon and you're thinking, I've never seen this ribbon before, that's because you're not actually operating out of a project. So again, you can only save a search and create an alert if you're operating in a project. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this as a search. I'm going to call it CEO in Sydney, open new opportunities, test. Now, guys, you may be thinking to yourselves, why is this a business development search and a business development alert? This sounds more like a sourcing strategy. So as I said before, a lot of these searches actually, if you take a different lens on it, could be used from a sourcing perspective as well as for business development. So what we want to do is by highlighting these people who are open to new opportunities and reaching out to them, even if we aren't able to place them, we're able to start that connection. So what I'm going to also show you guys on the flip side to this is we can track CEOs who have recently started a new position. So this two-pronged attack is that you're going to be setting up and reaching out to people who are open to new opportunities. And the thing is that if you place them, fantastic. Placing a decision maker is going to create a really strong impression and a really strong relationship from the get-go. So if they are looking at, backfilling for their teams, they'll have you top of mind or you can reach out to them. Otherwise, even if you don't place them, it means that once they do get placed, you could be reaching out saying, oh, hi, Rory. Hi, Parker. Congratulations on the new role. It was unfortunate that we weren't able to work together to get you into this position. I'm really happy for you. How's everything looking with the current team? What is it that you see as gaps and where can I help you with those areas? So this is all about starting those connections and starting to lay the foundations to have a working relationship in the future. One thing I do want to touch on, guys, very quickly is just examining and taking a look at your search alerts. So from the homepage, and this is going to look different for the people on either experience. So if you're on this experience, you just click on the little saved button here, where if you are on the new platform, if you actually just click on the search bar that's in the top right-hand corner, a drop-down will come and it will say View Saved Searches. So I'm just going to click on Saved. And from here, these are all my saved searches and my alerts. So if you guys don't have your alerts automatically turned on when you save a search, that's just because you don't have this little button here clicked. So if you want to make sure that your saved searches are automatically getting alerts, make sure that's turned on, and then you can turn the search alerts on and off. And this means that tomorrow, for example, if a new CEO in Sydney became open to opportunities, rather than say check the new result, it would have 1 new, 2 new, 3 new, whatever it may be. Does that make sense, guys? A hands up if that's making sense. Yeah, a couple of hands up. Excellent. Lots of hands up. Brilliant. So I'm just going to jump back into my project, guys. So what we're now doing is we're tracking decision makers who are open to new opportunities, and we're starting connections and relations with them. So the next step to this, guys, is we now want to track anytime a decision maker starts a new position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into advanced, and we want to take a look at years in current company. So if you click on this, you can actually scroll this all the way over the top of each other. If you're on the new platform, you can actually just toggle through the numbers and go 0 to 0 and hit add. And I want to hit search. So what I can see now is there are 274 CEOs who have been within their role within a new company under a year. So what I now want to do is I'm going to save this search, and because of how a save search works and an alert works, it's going to update us on any of the changes. So it means that if I get an update tomorrow, for example, it's because a CEO has just started their role into a new company. So again, from an outreach perspective, you could be reaching out to people like River here, saying, "Hi River, congratulations on your new role as a CEO at Swish. How's everything going? How's the team getting along? Have you noticed any areas of improvement? We'd love to catch up with you and connect." And again, this would become twice as powerful if you've already started getting these connections and getting these relationships when they were looking for their next role. So again, all you would want to do, and you can have multiple save searches to the same project, guys. So all of these are my save searches for the one business development project. Is I'm going to call it, CEO Sydney, new to role. Save. Brilliant. So this way, guys, and again, you can do this with any decision maker at any level. You just want to make sure you set it up with a job title. I know we got the question before, so there could be multiple job titles that you want to put into this. So I could have CEO, CTO, COO, whatever it may be, all within that. Or, if your main decision maker is a HR manager, a talent acquisition manager, whatever it may be, just make sure you're updating and incorporating all the titles that you feel are relevant. Cool. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is just going to clear that. And what I want to do now is focusing on either your tier 1 clients or clients that you already have a relationship with a decision maker, or we can use this and set it up in accordance with what Matt was doing before, mapping the market. Guys, sorry, I know that we're getting closer to time, so I want to really just show you this. This is our last main save search, and then we'll take questions after. So what I want to do here, and just in this example, is I want to take a look at LinkedIn. So let's say you do a lot of work with LinkedIn, or you want to do work with LinkedIn, and then we want to go into Australia or Sydney or Melbourne or New Zealand, wherever it may be. Now, don't worry, guys, I'm not actually able to see people who are open to new opportunities. You can't see people within your own company that are open to new opportunities. Rochelle, I just saw where is the filter for role duration? It's under the advanced filters, if you want to navigate to there. So one thing that you want to be doing, guys, is, you want to track who's open to new opportunities. Oh, well, this is heartening to see. There's no one in LinkedIn. Let's try maybe Coca-Cola again. So what you want to be doing, guys, is you want to set up a save search, and you want to track anytime someone's open to new opportunities within a client or within a company that you want to start doing work with. Now, the reason why is that you don't want to reach out to a decision maker or contact and say, "Hey, I can see that Chance is open to the opportunity. They're on the way out. What about a backfill? I've got this person." That's not what you want to be doing. But what this means is you can actually track and see where movement may be coming. So if you're seeing that Chance or Ray, for example, open to new opportunities, and they are field service technicians, and you recruit within those roles and within those industries, then that way you can make a note, and you'll actually be able to say, okay, I can see that Ray is now open to new opportunities. So I'm going to just make sure that my contact within Coca-Cola is aware of me. I'm going to restart conversation. I'm not going to bring up anything specific. I'm just going to do a check-in. So that way, once Ray does have some movement, you can then bring it up naturally into conversation with your contact. So that's one thing you want to be doing. And the other is I'm going to now change this from current to past, not current. I'm just going to view all. And I'm going to take a look at, again, years in current company and go all the way down to 0 and hit add. So guys, what we can now see is 128 people who have started a new role in a new company and used to work at Coca-Cola. So where this is a really cool saved search is that tomorrow, if I'm getting updated, we're going to get updated anytime someone is leaving Coca-Cola or anytime someone with Coca-Cola experience has moved on. So again, from a business development perspective, you're able to see Tori. If she was to leave tomorrow, you'd see that Tori left. You know, she was a chief executive, whatever she may have been at the time. And you can actually reach out to your contact at Coca-Cola saying, oh, hi, I see that Tori's left. How's it going with the backfill? Are we able to have a discussion and how we can help you fill that role again? How's that sound, guys? Hands up if that sounds good, if it makes sense. Awesome. Heaps of hands up. Excellent. Guys, I'm just going to switch back to the PowerPoint. I know that I'm a little bit over time. So what I'll do is I'll finish off this PowerPoint and then we'll open it up to some more questions, if that sounds good. So guys, just to kind of summarize everything. So we spoke about mapping your market, leveraging search insights or search breakdown. For those of you lucky enough who already have LinkedIn Talent Insights, so your company may have already purchased that as a separate product, you can actually drill even deeper with those insights. So you want to kind of map your market using that tool first and then jump into Recruiter and set up your searches. But if you ever need any help, make sure you reach out to your customer success manager, guys. Like, ask us any questions. We can help guide you in the right direction. You can actually jump into the Help Center or the Learning Center. So those are free to anyone with a Recruiter license. You can access that in the top right-hand corner of your Recruiter seat. And check out what's coming up. So we actually are running more of these sessions on an ongoing basis. So if you go into customersuccess.linkedin.com, that's the Customer Success Center. If you navigate your way to under webinars, the virtual workshops, you can actually view what we have already planned in. You can register for more events coming up. Myself, Matt, and the other CSMs will also be sending out invites and reminders to you guys. So please feel free to register.
Quick point on that, Patrick. Pat just added, someone did ask a few questions around the Rock Your Profile session. So I've added the link into the chat, but you can just go to Google and type in LinkedIn Customer Success Center and then select virtual webinar series. But the link is in the chat. The next Rock Your Profile session, which people have asked me, is on the 21st of April at 2 p.m. So Pat mentioned a bit about rocking your profile, making sure you've got an up-to-date profile. Please join us for that session.
Awesome. Guys, I'm just going to stop the recording for now.